Welcome to this new video. Remember, to illustrate these videos, we are using Jones Arc, a 10-staff company with over 3 years in the market and 2 ongoing projects. These are the folks that work at Jones, and they will help you see how things work. Jones Arc has a studio management plan, so you can see all features working. This is the third and last video of the first series. In this video, we're going to cover all the different communications that you can manage with Frank. But before we get into the details of all the project communications, let's remember that the folks at Frank have different positions and they also have different project roles. Project roles will give them access to working on different projects. As an overview, there are 5 types of communications that you can handle in Frank. The key is that you can centralize all your communications and keep them linked to your projects for future reference. Let's see how messages work. Messages work like emails. The only difference is that all messages you handle via Frank will stay linked to the project for future reference. In the Communications tab, you can choose New Message and type it exactly as you type an email. Once you send your message, the other parties will get a notification. You will get a notification yourself as well, so you know the message went out. The key is that once every party involved receives the message, they will be able to respond to the message, and these responses will get automatically logged into the project history, so you can handle conversations via Frank and keep them logged for future reference. Now, meetings are automatically linked to attendees' calendars in Frank. When you create a new meeting, you can select the participants, a title, a location. You can write something, but you can also schedule the time, date, and location, be it at the office or in the field, for example. Once you have your meeting created, it will automatically be added to the participants' calendars. You can also create an agenda, and that will be very handy for productivity. So you type the message you need, and it will be created as a meeting request. You can also create an agenda, so you know exactly what topics need to be covered, who's responsible, and what is the allocated time for each one of the topics that need to be discussed. Once you're finished, you will send this to your participants, and they will receive something similar to a message, and they will be able to accept if they will attend or not to the meeting. Once they do that, a check will appear, meaning that they have already accepted. Everyone will know who else has accepted, including you if you were the one who sent the meeting request. Now, the advantage of using Frank to handle your meetings is that once the parties accept, there is a time tracking integration that will automatically add the meeting to your time tracking calendar. With this feature, you can save time and boost productivity with a very cool feature that it's printing the meeting memo, so when you meet with everyone, you have an agenda and it's clear what topics need to be discussed and what time is allocated for each one of them. Call the meeting in Frank, and team members will automatically have it in their agendas and time tracking. Let's see what transmittals are. Transmittals were created to keep track of files being submitted to clients, consultants, and agencies. Once you have your deliverables, the first thing you need to do is learn how to upload files. If you go to the Deliverable and the Files tab, you will easily be able to drag and drop the files that you are prepared to submit to any of your consultants, clients, or agencies that are part of this project. Once the file is uploaded, the second step will be to create an instance. That is like a snapshot of where the project stands at any point in time. As you can see, you can create a name, a date, and you will be able to classify this instance, in this case for information. We will add a small description so we know what this was about. Once this instance is created, you will be able to upload and upgrade the versions of the files that are delivered. Remember, each one of these matters will be covered in a separate video. Once you have your files uploaded and you assess your percentage, you can close this instance. What this means is that you actually took a snapshot of the project and now you're prepared to distribute the files if necessary. So the step 3 would be to send the transmittal if you want to do so. You can also create instances for internal revision purposes only. Sending a new transmittal is very similar to an email, but Frank will treat this communication very differently. You need to select the contact and write a message. And once this is done, you will send it, and as you can see in the bottom, there will be attachments to this communication. However, be it that files are usually big, there could be a link that the client can download. If you go to the Communications tab, you can see that all communications are color-coded for ease of reference. The most important thing is that transmittals will keep a log of what was transmitted to each one of the parties. Now, financials work pretty similar to messages. The difference? You're talking about classified information. So a team member like Tom won't see financial messages. Sarah could potentially see them had she been included in the communication that Peter created. Now, if you want to send an invoice, you got to go to the invoice, hit send invoice, select the contact, and once that invoice has been sent, you will see in the communications that this message has been logged. Instead of using standard emails, all the communications are centralized in Frank. So Sarah now can see that Peter already sent a financial message to the client, so she knows the client received the invoice and she hasn't the need to go out there asking. Remember, cash is king, so everyone has to be on the collection team. Now, file transfers, they work pretty much like every other file transfer site that you probably use at the time. If you create a new transfer, you need to select the contacts, type a message, drag the files, and send. The other party will receive not only the message, but the link to the files. And more importantly, transfers will be integrated into the project log. So instead of having a separate file or a separate software or a separate platform, you will have all of your information in the same place. So everyone sending files to anyone during the project will leave a trace that you can follow if you need later on. So once the transfer is ready and the file has been uploaded, you can always hit send and make sure that you select for how long you want the files to be shared for. As you can see, all messages are color-coded. And as you can see down here, every time you add a contact, Frank will automatically understand that if that contact is not in your agenda, you may want to add it so you keep a clear record. The client will receive an email, and he or she will be able to go ahead and straight download the files or go to the file center or transfer center. What the transfer center is it's this place where all the transfers of all the projects that you work with a certain client will be accessible. So the client can easily know what project this file is transferred for instead of receiving an out-of-the-blue email from a who knows what site, and download the file super easily. The beauty of this is that if the client needs to come back to the transfer site, they will be able to continue to access the transfers as long as they're valid. On the other side, Sarah will get an easy way to check if files have been downloaded. Thank you for watching.